Good morning and a happy Wednesday morning to you. You guys, there's so much. I had to split this video into three. So there's three parts. We are discussing the National Portrait Gallery. We are discussing Harry's visa case. We're discussing some stuff that just went down with Invictus. We're covering Harry and what he's doing in New York, including a visit to the Halo Trust and African parks. No, I'm not kidding. There's so much that this is a three-part video. So make sure you start here and work your way through. You're gonna want to see all of this. My goodness. All right, there's a lot to cover. Let's jump in. Let's go. We're going to go back in time before I talk about this next story, because some of you may be new to all this. Maybe you're unaware of this. So back in May, it was announced that the picture taken by Mason Harriman of Harry and Meghan was given, these are the words, was given a permanent home at London's National Portrait Gallery, and everybody was reminded that Princess Catherine is the patron of the London National Portrait Gallery. The information was released by Mason Harriman, who we know is Harry and Meghan's go-to photographer. And he posted these pictures on social media, and it even showed him signing one of the pictures. And he put out a message that said, "I am humbled and proud to announce that my portrait of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex is now part of the permanent collection of the National Portrait Gallery. Dare to dream, folks." Now, for those of you who don't remember, it was one of the pictures taken back in September of 2022 when Harry and Meghan went to the One Young World Summit in Manchester. It was right before that they had been invited to go visit the Queen before, like 2 days before she died, and they said no. Allegedly for legal purposes, but the scuttle was they were in the UK and they skipped right past her. Now, there are several reasons why people remember this One Young World Summit. For the first part, yes, Harry and Meghan were invited to see the Queen 2 days before she died, and they said no. Second of all, Harry, in every single picture taken of him, looked absolutely miserable sitting up on that stage next to Meghan. Third of all, everybody noticed that Meghan's outfit was a replica of something that Wallis Simpson wore. But it was really memorable because Meghan referenced herself 54 times in 7 minutes. That has to be some sort of a record. At the time, the National Portrait Gallery stated that there was no plans to display the work. It had just been delivered. It needed to go through the catalog processing, and come to find out that they didn't request the work. It was submitted by Mason Harriman. So here we are 4 months later, and the National Portrait Gallery has now come out and said that they will not be putting up the picture of Harry and Meghan. That came earlier in the year. A spokesman said that they cataloged it and they digitized it and it was added to their website, but they will not be displaying it in the gallery. And for those of you saying, oh, Catherine did this, it has been reported that the Princess of Wales has no say at all over which portraits are, displayed. So that had nothing to do with it. There were some rumors, according to the article, that Catherine was actually very pleased because there was a controversial portrait of her and she couldn't get it removed, but the gallery eventually removed it and she was secretly happy about that. Anyway, this picture of Harry and Meghan was sent because what people found out was that the royal collection had no pictures of Meghan. Okay, now they have one, but it's in mothballs. All right, moving on. Next up, the judge has finally made a decision in Harry's visa case, and he has decided that Harry's visa documents will not be made public. He said that Harry has, quote, a reasonable privacy interest, close quote, in relation to the immigration paperwork, and it should stay private. Even though in the Spare and in the Netflix docuseries, he admits to using all of these different drugs. Now, Judge Nicol did say that the Heritage Group who filed the suit was, quote, partially correct that as a public figure, Harry's statements tend to diminish his privacy interests compared to ordinary foreign nationals admitted to the United States. But it's not so diminished that you guys can see his immigration paperwork. Let me tell you what I see. It's rules for thee, but not for me. Because we know that Harry either lied in his book that he sold to millions of people claiming it was the truth, or he lied on his immigration paperwork. Let me take that back. He lied on the paperwork, either claiming coming in that he never used drugs, or he admitted that he used the drugs and he was given a waiver, at which time people want to know who gave him the waiver. So he's being given a pass. I don't think anybody was really expecting that, because he admits that he's a drug abuser and he should be held to the same standard that everybody else that wants to enter should be held to. Unbelievable. Whew. All right, let's move on to our next story. Let's move on now to our third story for today. The Invictus Games. They are now advertising that you can get your pre-registration for tickets to the ceremonies for Vancouver Whistler in 2025. And if you notice at the top of the page, there's a button where you can donate. It was my understanding they're not supposed to be doing that. We've covered that in previous videos, but okay, whatever. They're showing you who's going to be there performing, what's going on, and how fabulous it's going to be. So go ahead and buy your tickets. There's just a few little problems. The tickets are not that expensive, but they have added service charges, I guess is what you would call them, onto the ticket price, as you can see. So the ticket is like $40 and the service charge is like $27. So your price of the ticket is actually $67. And there have been a lot of comments online about the fact that your $40 ticket went up to $67 and that it's ridiculous. One person put up that the government gave them $30 million to, throw this. They're absolutely right. What's the $27 service charge for? I think for me, that's just another way of making money. In the meantime, during all of this, some stories are coming out that does not put Invictus in a good light. There's a story that just popped up about a veteran that was injured while in Dusseldorf, Germany last year, and Invictus has not raised a finger to help this man. Let me introduce you to Scott Snow. Mr. Snow was actually in one of the promos that was put out by Invictus Games for the Dusseldorf Games. This man participated in archery, rowing, and wheelchair rugby. And it was during the rugby match, the wheelchair he was using went backwards, and the video of it is just horrific. He slams onto the court floor, and you see his head bounce off the floor. Now, he's saying that his wheelchair did not have a strap to keep him in, but, he fell out and he really hurt himself. He has since had 2 surgeries. He's had to pay thousands of dollars out of pocket to cover assisted living arrangements, and he's had to stop doing some of the therapy he was doing for financial reasons. All right, you guys, that is the end of part 1. Go into the description box and click the link to part 2 after you've left your comments for this section, okay? Otherwise, it's too much to cover. Follow me over. Let's go.